Now that football is done and over with, we are heading into spring training, and baseball is up next. The New York Mets have the best lineup in baseball. I said it. You got a young, upcoming catcher who can hit the ball when he's at his best. You got Sean Manaea, who really stepped into a ace role for the Mets. He stepped into that position as the best pitcher on the team, the guy to really show up big in the big games. Needed him in the playoffs down the stretch. Vientos, another emerged star who has to show that last season wasn't a fluke. You've got Nimmo, who's a veteran. You've got Edwin Diaz, who's the best closer in baseball. Yes, he is. With the Queens fans on their feet, going crazy. There's nobody beating him. Lindor, Soto, Alonso. How do you not like the sound of that? How do you not think about the fact that all these guys that for years had to be more than what they are, right? So, for example, Nimmo had to maybe step into a role of higher offensive production that maybe he wasn't able to hit consistently. You know, he's not going to ever give you Juan Soto numbers. You get what I'm saying? But now you got a guy getting Juan Soto numbers. And then you got a guy getting Lindor numbers. That's only going to boost everybody else. Now you got a guy getting Alonso numbers. And pitchers are scared of those Alonso numbers because he can hit the ball out the park on any given pitch. Then you got Vientos coming up. Alvarez coming up. You got some pitchers that got confidence now because their lineup could do something for them. Like, that's the thing, too, bro, about Manaea. Like, a lot of people I see are, like, on the fence about Manaea. But, bro, this guy was great for us last year. And going into this season, he's got one of, in my opinion, the New York Mets are the best lineup in baseball. However, if you want to be more unbiased, you could say they're a top 5 line. There's 30 teams in baseball, bro. It's a lot of teams. 30. They are top 5. Gotta say top 3. Top 3, top 5 at worst. Top 5 lineups at worst. And a lot of people are mad. A lot of people, by the way, are tight. A lot of people, they see that Steve Cohen has paid $1 billion for this team. Okay, and they want to see it fail because they broke. They got no money to spend. Their owners don't spend nothing on them. You know, the Miami Marlins are out here. What'd they spend? Like $7 million or something? I saw some type of graphic, and they spent less than $10 million on their team. Their team is, that's what their whole team makes. $7 million. You know what I mean? Some nonsense. I'm trying to be funny with that last part. I don't think that's the case. I think maybe they spent $7 million in free agency, but point stands. They're not spending the way the Mets are spending. Nobody is, other than the Dodgers. You've got the Mets and the Dodgers, and outside of that, it's everybody else. And I think, you got the National League. They're in the National League. You're going to see the 2 best teams in baseball in the National League competing year after year after year, and it's going to develop into a fantastic rivalry that's going to be great for the sport. New York versus LA. Then, of course, you got the other LA teams. If the Angels could get their weight up, if the Yankees are a legacy team. They're always going to be the Yankees. People hold on to those old records and the old great players, and how can you not? You got to show respect to the past, etc., etc. They earned it, right? Like, they paid for wins, too. Now it's time for other teams to, pay for some wins. And even if the Mets win one championship when it's all said and done, bro, for me to see the Mets finally win a championship, we're golden, bro. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people throwing something at my TV if the Mets lose in the playoffs. The fact that the Mets are in the playoffs consistently is a gift. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you grew up at a time where, I witnessed the David Wright, Jose Reyes teams. Those were fantastic teams. But I remember the collapse. I remember how crazy that was. I remember sitting there really processing like, yo, we were up all those games only for this to happen. It was insane. The Phillies really did that. They did. The Mets in recent history got their get back on the Phillies just in this past playoffs. We got a nice get back on the Phillies. Bounced them straight out the playoff contention. And they were watching us from home, play in the Champion League Series, the NLCS. And that's kind of like a get back, but winning a championship is different. And if the Mets win a championship in my lifetime, I'll be so happy, bro. Like just one championship in my lifetime to see the orange and blue celebrating. Now anything after that is gravy, anything, I'll take it. I'm not gonna refuse. Anything after that I will accept. Whether it's 1, 3, 5 rings, maybe the Mets can go and do what the Yankees did in those late 90s, when they just win. Maybe the Mets can do the same thing, and you see New York sports dominance reign again. It's been a while since New York had a winner to root for. When's the last time? When was it? Really think about it. The last time it was probably the Giants, right? I think it was the Giants. I know the Yankees won in 2009, but the Mets went to a couple World Series, or went to the one World Series in 2015. But in terms of a winner, I think you got to go Giants. They won it twice and I think they won it after the Yankees won. So, yeah, it's been some time now. 15 years since New York's had a winner. And what about hockey? I know I'm not mentioning hockey. Did the Rangers win? Let's go check that real quick. Hold on. Yeah, they didn't. They made it to the Stanley Cup in one of those years, but they did not win the Stanley Cup. And that's what I'm talking about, man. New York has not been a place where people win in a while. People have been getting, victimized in New York. Like New York has become like a place people don't even want to go to anymore. New York is a place where it's always something, and it's not like a good something. It's not like, oh, the magic of the city. No, bro, it's something that nobody wants to deal with. And come on, man, it's every time now. That's got to change. And maybe the Mets, the perennial losers, have finally turned around with their billionaire owner, and the Mets are now going to change that paradigm. They will lead New York back into a winning era, and you love to see it. The New York Mets, I'm predicting it now, will win a World Series before 2030. By the year 2030, I'll say, not before. By the year 2030, they will win a World Series. They have the best lineup in baseball. They have an owner that wants to win. That's a billionaire. Billionaires, bro. Billionaires are a different story now, man. They're a different level. And if a billionaire has a real vested interest in winning, they gonna pay to play. Oh, yeah. And they gonna do what they gotta do. We might get Vladimir Guerrero going into next season, bro. You know what I mean, man? This is a wonderful time to be alive if you're a New York Mets fan. And I'm ecstatic about it. And that's pretty much all I got to say, to be honest. At the end of this, I want to know what you guys think. I know this was a long one, but that's, I just wanted to get on here and chat about the Mets. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, whether you agree, disagree. It does not matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.